Good evening and welcome back to the Smoke Pit. Tonight's episode is a news roundup like we do every Saturday. And tonight I'm joined by Carl and Lisa. Welcome, guys. So I do want to hop right into it because it's been a super weird news week, especially for veterans. One of the biggest things that happened this week is the Take Care of America's Veterans Act, which was introduced into the House and the Senate this week, which is trying to fund the Richard Starr Act by using the money from tinnitus and from sleep apnea. So let's dig into it, guys. What do you think?
I mean, they've been trying to reduce compensation for sleep apnea and tinnitus since 2022. You know, they put it up for comment. It's never been finalized. I'm pretty sure there we got too much pushback. So now they're trying to cut it in a way to fund something they know is popular amongst the vets. But I still feel like they're asking vets to pay for something that they should be covering themselves.
Yeah, so I when I was in, because you both know I got out relatively recently, but while I was in, I heard this coming down the pipe, and I was already in the process. I did the whole sleep study thing, got all wires and everything. It was crazy, but in my mind, I'm thinking it'll be okay if I don't make it to the cutoff because it's just sleep apnea. It's not something I have to worry about, and whoop-de-doo if I don't get the full benefit. But now that I have to use the damn machine, I have to take it everywhere with me. If I don't sleep,
Yeah.
or I sleep terribly. And so, like saying, "Oh, well, you're not really 50% anymore because you have a machine that mitigates it," is like saying, "Oh, you take the medicine that mitigates the pain, therefore you're no longer disabled. You no longer have these issues, or that are associated with your claim, so we can reduce it." Like it is a bullshit effort to cut costs in order to move those costs elsewhere. And besides that, we're trying to get what 1.5 trillion to the Department of Defense.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That was one of my points, right? Is like you're asking for a budget of 1.5 trillion. It's not an either or. And I know often that the federal government makes a dichotomy. It's an either or with veterans benefits where it should be an all, right? Like, why aren't we getting sleep apnea, tinnitus, and full benefits for all of the injuries that we sustained during service? Right, like we signed a contract with the federal government that they were going to take care of all of our injuries, and now you have a budgetary ask of 1.5 trillion, but you're saying that we don't have the funding for all of the illnesses that we acquired during our service, and it's just such a betrayal. Right? Like we talk about deep-rooted betrayal by the government, right? And this is one of them, is that we have had the ruling come down that if you took medicine, they were going to cut our compensation for that. Now they're just straight, like, if you want the Richard Starr Act, which, let's be real, it's super popular. It has been for years. It does not affect either of you, but it does affect me. I am a medically retired veteran. And so it would benefit me if the Richard Starr Act passed. However, any veteran that is willing to fuck another veteran to benefit themselves is a shitbag. I want both. I want the Richard Starr Act, and I want tinnitus and sleep apnea for my brothers and sisters. I
Yeah.
don't want to benefit myself while fucking other people. Like that, it's just wrong. And it keeps happening in this administration, where even within the veteran community, we've created the other, right? And the first other we did within the veteran community, transgender veterans.
Yeah. And before we move on to the transgender veterans, I do want to say that there are like 60 or 70 other things that they're trying to roll into the Take Care of the Veterans Act, and I'm still trying to dig through it all. But one of the things that they are doing is they want to try and move the VA psychologists to Title 38, which would reduce their ability to do collective bargaining, would reduce their collective bargaining rights. And that's going to further increase the shortages we have in that career field right now, especially in the VA.
Right, as if they're not already having issues retaining those specific professionals, right? Like
Yeah.
it takes people 3 to 4 months just to get seen by a specialist, and then if you aren't able to get seen within that window, you can put a request for out in town care, community care, but even that process takes another 30 to 90 days to get approved. Oh, and if you don't get approved, they don't notify you that they didn't approve it. They just go,
Yeah.
oh, not approved, and then let it go. Like, not speaking from experience because I'm dealing with that right now. But yeah, no, it's complete bullshit that they seem to want to be taking away from veterans benefits in order to pay for wars that we don't need to have and can't really afford. But it's not surprising given that President Trump said that he can't afford to be taking care or paying for bills at home and the health care, Medicaid, and for food stamps because he's got wars that he needs to push out into the world, and he's got to be able to fight these wars and protect the country. Like he's literally doing the dictator, I'm going to take from my people in order to bolster my military type effort. And he's not even really bolstering the military. So
No, we're throwing rockets at drones, right? But let's talk back about the VA, right? Like, because Lisa, you're 100% correct, especially with the psychologist. 28,000 VA employees were cut in fiscal year 2025. It's the largest cut ever in VA history of VA employees. That included 1,000 psychologists already. And so if we are diminishing collective bargaining among that career field while also cutting employees at the given time while having veterans kill themselves on VA property, something has to give. Right? Like something has to give. We cannot keep doing this and expect that we are going to have a functional military, that we're going to have people normally signed up for healthcare, for benefits, right? Like because they wanted
Education,
stabilities.
Yep.
If we're not doing this for the veteran community, you think people are going to want to join because you do have to get out at some point. You're not going to spend your entire life, 20, 25 years. You're going to get out and have to deal with the VA system for your healthcare unless you land a phenomenal job. Right? It's just wild to me.
Yeah, it's crazy that they had a 50% increase in critical shorting manages last year over the year before, and they still cut more employees. And yet they keep bragging about how they're opening more clinics. And I'm like, but who is staffing the clinics? 94% of VA facilities last year were reporting critical shortages in medical officers. Like 94%. So great, you opened up these new locations. Who's staffing them? You spent the money to open these locations. Now who's staffing them?
Well, I mean, the Lake City VA, y'all have heard my story. They have a whole wing of that hospital closed because they just don't have the staffing for it.
Yeah. They took the women's health clinic, which in Augusta, where I am, there are 2 VA hospitals. They're large hospitals. We've got an uptown version and a downtown version. They're like within 10 minutes of each other, but they're huge hospitals. The uptown division had the women's health clinic. They renovated the women's health clinic like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And so it has its own separate waiting room and check-in location and stuff like that to separate the women's health clinic from the other clinics they were surrounding. Then last year in November, they rented out a whole floor in a different hospital less than a mile from the downtown VA hospital for the women's health clinic and moved us all there. So they're renting a whole floor from a different hospital and moved the women's health clinic there. No idea why. It seems like a complete waste of money.
my first
But we also
experience
don't
with
have enough primary care doctors in the women's health clinic.
Oh man, I don't think we have enough primary care doctors, period, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
my primary care with the VA or the clinic here in Jacksonville, he is the second senior most PCM at the clinic. He's only been there for 24 months, and he's preparing to go on deployment because he's a reservist with the Army, and he's preparing to go on deployment in 4 months, which means, guess what? He's going to be gone, which means that the next one up is going to have will have been there even less time than him. Oh, and the guy that's above him was only there 2 months more than he was. So it's like the just the level of professionalism is gone. Like, you don't have that continuity of care that exists there. And then my only experience with VA hospitals is the one down in Fayetteville, and let me tell you, like, it's pretty, it's huge, but even the women's waiting room, the women's entrance, is getting used like a hallway for everyone. There's no like there's no restriction to access or anything like that. So anyone and everyone can go through that door, walk through the women's clinic, and there's no privacy, no nothing. I mean, when I walked up, I walked up first thing, and that was the door to enter. Realized it was a women's clinic and bypassed it, went through the front door. But no, I think it's ridiculous the amount that they're cutting from the VA. And it just goes to show you, Katie, you say this every single time we talk about this. Republicans are known for, or are considered to be known for, helping the troops, but it's the Democrats who actually support the veterans when they get out. And you can, I mean, you can see it now.
Well, I think the bigger issue is a structural issue, right? Is we're GWAT kids. We set the GWAT kids to war, right? And then we set the Vietnam era and all the other eras to war. But then you didn't fully fund the effects of the war, right? Is one of the bigger things that nobody talks about enough is that the amount of claims that are denied, right? Is if every claim that is sufficient was approved, I'm not exactly sure what the budget would be, right? Because a lot of MST claims are denied. It's over 70% of MST claims are denied. And MST is not endemically something that you can claim through the VA. You claim PTSD due to military sexual trauma, okay? But a lot of those are denied. But then you have all of these other weird nuances. Men can't claim MST, right? PTSD due to MST. Then on top of it, you have a lot of denials of different generations of women and men that they couldn't report.
Yep.
But how many times have the two of you, how many times have you heard from a battle buddy, like, hey, I got denied? And it's something so apparent, right? Like, I have heard of an amputee getting denied for their amputation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's all of these stupid things where it's like, oh really, you got denied for your leg being gone? It's not there though. And it's such a haphazard system, and I hate when veterans, or it's actually not veterans, it's mostly people outside of our community that are like, oh, but it's wrought with fraud.
Right. Yeah. No. Have there been cases? Yeah. And we've seen them get caught, right? Like, but I mean, it is definitely not wrought with fraud. And, you know, the administration keeps bragging about how they're closing all of these claims quicker now, but I'm like, but how many of those are being denied? How many are getting closed because they're being denied? And a big part of it comes with knowing how to word things and knowing how to apply. And the vets who don't go and find a competent VSO to help them, or don't have a friend who can come walk them through it, like, you have to be really particular about the way you word these claims, or they will find a reason. And the reasons they give you for denying will be like, well, yes, we do recognize that you have this issue, but you didn't service connected, right? Like, or some other thing like that. Or they'll just have like the C&P exams will be horrible, right? Like, doctor will spend 5 minutes with you and then be like, yes, and we know, I mean, Katie's had her C&P exam in a freaking nail salon. So
Enough said, right? You're muted. I got you.
There's a lack of accountability. And that's all I'm going
There
to
is.
say because talking about that makes me so angry. But I do want to recognize, I think that they are using some form of AI
Oh yeah.
to make our claims go through quicker. And it was said by the administration that they were going to use AI to try and make this process faster. And we did not speak out enough because of HIPAA law. Like, if we are using some form of LLM, like a large language model, to do this at a quick rate, then all of our medical files are being fed into an AI model to dictate how disability is being done based off each other. And we all know, and we actually talked about this in our group the other day, or yesterday, we were talking about eating disorders. Eating disorders present different ways. So does PTSD. So does TBI. So does a lot of medical conditions. And so if you are trying to make this process quicker by utilizing AI, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? There's HIPAA laws. Like, you cannot feasibly feed my mental health file and my medical file into a large language model without my permission. Like, how are we not breaking federal law?
But of course, I've seen the VA not follow HIPAA laws. So
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen
that's
a
true. I
public
forgot
affairs
about that.
officer. I saw a public affairs officer talk about my medical appointments to a reporter without my permission. And the public affairs officer shouldn't have had access to my medical records either, even if he worked for the VA. And I didn't sign a form for either one of those things. But I was bringing up the fact that it took them 4 months to get me a mammogram appointment. And they didn't like that, so they tried to discredit me by talking about my medical information to a reporter.
The VA is such a shit show sometimes, but I will say this. I would rather have VA healthcare than outside of VA healthcare, because we do have specialized healthcare within our system that we will not find outside in the civilian world. And so as much as veterans talk shit about the VA, because I'm sure people watching this are going to be like, oh man, everybody hates the VA. I love the VA. Okay. I think it's a great system. I love my PTSD clinic. I love all the specialized care. However, I do think that it can be run more effectively and more efficiently and better for future generations, right? Is I think we can all agree, yeah, PAO. I think we can all agree that there are some structural changes that need to happen at the VA, right, for it to be more effective. But cutting disability to get it done in any form is not how it should be done, right? Is we should maybe, I don't know, stop bombing children, right? Or like, if you're going to ask for $1.5 trillion, fully fund the VA. Don't make it an either or for veterans. We signed on the dotted line. We kept up our end of the contract with the federal government. Now it is their turn to keep up their end of the federal, like, of the contract, right? Is like, you are supposed to give me health care for things that are service connected. If tinnitus is service connected, then that is what it is. And it is the most service-connected disability. 3.2 million veterans are service-connected for tinnitus. Why?
Thank you, 3M.
Why? Like, are we all, oh my God, I didn't even,
And it's
oh my
capped at
God.
10%. It's capped at 10%. So it's not even like people are getting 50% disability for tinnitus. It's 10%.
I didn't even think of the stupid lawsuit. That's why there's so many of us. Okay, so tinnitus, for anybody watching, there was this really, really large lawsuit that happened with the GWAT era kids. Is
Yep.
3M gave us very defective hearing protection, and so a lot of us are now deaf as shit because of it. Besides that, do you know how many times I was on the range and they're like, it's your turn to go, and I didn't have ear pro? You think the range cadre gave a shit that I had ear pro? He was like, you're you're up, you're up, you're up. And so you're like firing. And it's not that veterans don't care about ear pro. It's safety is like third or maybe fourth on veterans' minds, right? Is like ear pro ain't it. Like I'm following directions, I'm trying to pass qualification. And if you're in a combat zone, there's more important things that you're worried about than like sliding in your ear pro.
Yeah. Yeah, in combat, I would agree. But see, I had a different experience. When Marines go to the range, we take that shit very seriously. Like, if you don't have Ear Pro, they've got a whole box of foamies that they'll walk around and make sure that you've got them. Now, do Marines put them in right? Fuck no. But we at least have them, right? They're there.
Oh, I mean, it was offered. Like, I'm not saying the Army didn't offer it. It was offered. But, I mean, how many times, as NCOs, how many times do you know that your soldiers did not put them in? And
All the
just
time.
slid it in that chest pocket, flipped it back closed, and went walking. Right? It is what it is.
And then I'm the nerd who was intel, so a lot of my tinnitus comes from constant, yeah, my hearing loss and my tinnitus comes from constant cans on the ears, right? Like,
Yeah, because you were a wall walker. You
it's
stayed
true.
inside a building with no windows.
I admit, yes, yes, that was me.
um, so I do think, though, creating the other, right? We have talked about that, is creating the other. We did create an other early on in this administration that is now coming back and winning, which I am happy about, right? So the first other within our community that happened was transgender veterans and active duty members. And so we did see an appeals court this week have a case dealing with a transgender veteran. But I do want to talk about the ban that was also undone by an appeals court, right? Is I'm going to say something, it's going to be controversial, and at this point, I don't really give a shit. Especially when it comes to transgender veterans and transgender active duty members. I never served with an openly transgender service member. It was not in my time. I got out in 2014. That policy went into effect in 2016. I was in for the changeover of DADT. I did see that it changed nothing except for unit cohesion and people living their best life, right? And so, therefore, here's my controversial hot take. Anybody that did not serve openly, like with openly transgender service members, your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't, like, you don't get a valid opinion because you didn't get to see the military work with the policy in place. Because there is a certain swath of veteran that is like, it ruined my military. Fuck your military. Your military put women in boxes in the ground. Like you don't get a valid opinion, right? Like I have a valid opinion on the overturning of DADT because I got to serve as an openly gay active duty Army member, right? I do have friends that got out and transitioned after. So I do have a valid opinion on transgender care at the VA. However, I have no valid opinion on transgender active duty members except for they signed on the dotted line too.
Which a very large percent of the United States doesn't do. So you know what? They can all. What pisses me off even more are the civilians who try and chime in on it. Because I'm like, did you even fucking serve? You have even less of an opinion as far as I'm concerned. I luckily had I was right at the big, like I was retiring right as that was starting, but I knew of individuals who were transgender who had been working for me for years. And it was heartbreaking when they pushed that ban out.
So I'll be upfront and honest with you, Katie. I bet you did know transgender service members, but you didn't know that they were transgender. And I say that because there
Openly,
are openly.
openly
Okay, yeah,
transgender. Yep,
gotcha. Okay.
openly.
I actually, my last command, we had an open transgender service member, and he was a phenomenal Marine, like phenomenal. And I'll tell you, the first sergeant that we had at the time, also phenomenal. And I'm he's out now, so I can say that I can assure you that he did not vote for Trump. But he worked his ass off to make sure that the Marine in question got all the care that was needed, was able to take the time off to go get top surgery while in, and then was able to transition from female standards to male standards, right? So like that whole process, the first sergeant was on top of the ball game all the way through. And I would sit there and I would listen to other Marines talking shit, and I'm losing my mind on them because they have no idea what it's like. They don't understand what it's like to go through that. They don't understand what any of that process looks like. And then for them to talk shit like that, it's like, come on, man, like put yourself in the other person's shoes and actually be a fucking Marine and understand that a Marine is a Marine is a Marine. And as long as they can do their job, they're fine. What you're doing right now is you're saying that fucking 300 PFTer who sucks at intel is a better Marine than the transgender Marine who's taking time off using their own leave to go out and get the surgery done and coming back and still performing both at the job but and also physically in a manner that is equally as capable as that 300 PFT. Or like, get the fuck out of here. So I mean, that's my view on it, and I think it's absolute bullshit that they kicked them out. I'm really happy that the court case came back and said, nah, that was illegal. All I hope is that what happens next is that the administration or the courts push the administration to do what the admin did for the Marine or the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines. They got kicked out because they wouldn't get the jab, right? Like bring them back in, give them their promotion, give them their back pay, all that good shit because they deserve it.
I
The
do
sad
want
thing
to
is,
talk. Go ahead. Go
oh
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say the sad thing. So, odd fact: Augusta, Fort Gordon / Eisenhower / back to Gordon, um, actually has one of the largest, uh, or had one of the largest population of transgender soldiers, sailors, airmen. Like, and I don't know if it has to do with signal intel or the fact that Fort Gordon is also an Army AIT pipeline, training pipeline, or if it's a combination of all of that. Um, but, you know, I know some folks who are still active duty out there, and the amount of people who seem to take pleasure in dead naming or it, yeah, it was just sickening. And it broke my heart. So I am glad, and I can only hope that not only do they decide that that ban was illegal for those specific individuals who were part of the suit, but for everybody, right? And like Carl said, hopefully do the same thing that they're doing with the jab.
I know the lawsuit that's happening right now for the veteran is against the VA and gender replacement therapy. And so I do want to bring light to that fact, right? Is we talked about it as soon as the transgender ban went into place, our group did, is we knew that at the VA they were probably going to stop. Here is my problem. As a woman, I am free to get my hormones checked at the VA at any given time, and they will happily provide me estrogen. Carl can at any time get his testosterone checked at the VA, and they will provide him testosterone. Why is there a difference if the veteran is transgender? What is the difference? We are paying millions of dollars on Viagra every year for men at the VA, and that's absolutely not service connected, because I've seen the argument like, well, it's not service connected. Newsflash.
It is also gender
There are,
affirming care.
well, newsflash, there are states, including Florida. Florida is one of the best at state VA. If you hit 70% disabled in the state of Florida, you get free health care for everything, not just service connected. Free health care, period. So there are a lot of veterans in the state of Florida that once they hit 70%, they opt out of employer health care.
Yep. I
So,
had that
like,
when I
what-
was at 80% before I hit my 100 too.
And,
There's no
and
point in
that's
paying.
that's the bigger thing, is that why are we picking out specific things for specific people at the VA? We all signed the same contract, and it's the same conversation we were just saying, is we are cutting benefits for very specific people, right? Gender affirming care looks very different for everybody, right? Viagra, like Rory said in the comments, is gender affirming care, right? People that get plastic surgery, gender affirming care, right? Like there are all sorts of gender affirming cares. Why is it the one thing we're not going to do? The like red line in the sand is hormone replacement.
Yeah. I mean, you could say that the wig that they're supposedly going to give me because I've lost my hair is gender affirming care, right? Like, I'm telling you this, though. I love this. I feel like men have been gatekeeping this haircut. Um, just saying.
It is easier to maintain. I woke up and I didn't have to do my hair this morning.
I will say it terrified my 9-month-old, and she screamed. So,
Oh
uh,
no.
our 3-year-old loves it though. She thinks it's hilarious. But gender affirming care looks very different, right? And I know here in the deep red South, we all live in the Southeast, right? The three of us. Is I know if I walk into my VA tomorrow, the one North Jacksonville VA, it's the only one I'm allowed out in the city. If I walk in there on Monday and there's a transgender veteran and another veteran would say something stupid, I would step up and say something, right, to the veteran corrective like measures of like, hey, we don't do that here. That is our brother or sister. It is what it is. So why are we as a group talking about cutting benefits, right? And it happened in the LGBT community, is that some people in the community were like, we'll sacrifice the T to keep our rights. And I feel like that's happening in the veteran community, is if we let them say transgender veterans cannot get hormone replacement therapy, then the tinnitus, the sleep apnea, the MST, all of these other things are going to start to unravel because they pick the smallest thing first. That there are a large swath of veterans, like I said, that don't understand the issue but have very hard stances on the issue of it ruining the military and being a black eye and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well that's stupid.
Yeah. I do have to ask, has anybody noticed, because I've had a lot of appointments downtown, right? Like, and I've had a lot of appointments at the VA. And every time I go in now, there's always flyers out there with QR codes talking about all the things they're doing for the LGBTQ community and how much they care about caring for veterans who are LGBTQ. And I'm like, is this a propaganda thing? Like, you're trying to like gloss over the fact that you've stopped providing HRT for transgender. I've taken a picture of it because I'm like, what is going on? Every single time I go, there are flyers out talking about how they care about the LGBTQ community. And how they have support groups and how they have, and you can go to this QR code and see what kind of resources they provide. Yeah, every time.
I wonder, okay, so here's my, let's get conspiracy theory with it. So I wonder if it's the Augusta like employees that are like kind of fighting back against it being Pride Month, because you are there often because it is Pride Month. is that they can't celebrate Pride Month, so they're just like kind of putting out like, here's some resources, this is what we can do, is we can't put up the flag, we can't say it's Pride Month, but our small little thing as employees, it's like, here's the few things we can do, right?
I've been seeing these before Pride Month. But maybe it is the Augusta VA like employees trying to say we don't necessarily agree with this, and we're in our own quiet little way trying to, because it's been the women's health clinic primarily that I've seen it at.
Do you have an overabundance of lesbians?
I mean, it is Georgia, so.
Again, we did have a large population of transgender also here in Augusta, and they all were getting kicked out. So they could be going to the VA locally, right?
That actually makes an abundance of sense, right? As you just point out that there is a large transgender population in your area, so maybe they are like, hey, this is the resources we have, like this is what we can provide. So that's interesting. I am glad to see that that veteran is fighting back, though, because it only takes one. You only need one disenfranchised person to sue the federal government to fight back for the rest of us, right? It's just like we had Lindsay Church on, who has a veteran who is suing the VA for abortion care, right? For reproductive health care. It only takes the one veteran that's affected to be like, yeah, no, we're going to fight back against this, and we're going to actually sue the federal government to get it fixed. And, so right now we do have a veteran that is petitioning the government. Most of you know him because this person became somewhat viral in a congressional hearing that we were all watching on deported veterans on ICE. It was an ICE hearing where they asked Kristi Noem, have you deported any veterans? And Kristi Noem directly said, no, I have not. And then they popped up a video and was like, so we had a veteran self-deport to South Korea. Mr. Kim, what do you have to say about that? Right? And so one of the bigger things that is not talked about enough is the deported veteran issue that is happening across the country. So we do have Mr. Kim, who is petitioning to return to the government, right? And we also had another veteran that was deported, an Army vet, Jamaican, who was deported without due process, right? Like without any due process, without any court hearings, no criminal record. And we have had over 100 veterans picked up in this last year with no criminal record, with no deportation order, with nothing of the sort. And so it is a issue that we all have to be mindful of, because we are in a time where ICE is going through and just picking people up for being brown. And me and Lisa know a guy by the name James, who runs Black Deported Veterans of America, who is lovely in one of our partner orgs. He told me something one time that I did not know, and I actually had to do the research, is that Black people are actually being deported at a higher rate than brown people. And so I actually had to do the research, and he is factually correct on that. And so when you are thinking of Haitians, Jamaicans, Caribbean, it is happening, Africans. And so I do want to talk about the deported veteran issue, because it's problematic, right? Like we all signed up, but I think the funniest thing is Mr. Kim being like, hey, I deported. So, yeah, what do y'all think?
I really hope the Democrats take control of the House and the Senate, and they can bring in and investigate Kristi Noem and get her for perjury. Honestly, because like the number of times she was caught in lies while under oath is staggering. Same with Bondi, same with all of the other Trump acolytes, right? Like it's insane how easily it is for them to lie. But I really do hope that Noam gets hit for perjury. I also think that we need to bring all of our fucking veterans home, because like in the video or the episode we had with D, right? It's easier to come home in a box than it is to come home alive right now if you get deported. Like, what kind of
Yeah.
bullshit is that? You serve your country with honor and you get told, get the fuck out. Thank you for your service. You're done.
It's, I mean, Joffrey Wade in Georgia, Jamaican, deported, veteran, lived in Georgia for 50 years, got stopped at a routine traffic stop in September, and had a missed court date from like 2014, where the notification, his lawyer has proved the notification went to the wrong address. He never received the notification about the court date. And 50 years and he got deported to Jamaica. It's ridiculous. And I know that there are bills that have been introduced before to try and streamline the process, but now ICE has taken away even doing the veteran priority check to make sure that to check to see if they're deporting a veteran.
I mean, and Dee said that. Dee said that on when we were talking about this, which I didn't know, and Carl brought up a good point. It broke my heart that night when Dee said, oh man, it's going to make me choke up because it was so powerful what she said. When a veteran is deported and they petition the government to come back for health care, and the government says no, and they die overseas, they are then brought back in a box, no questions asked, and buried in a national cemetery. And their headstone never reads that they died in exile. It reads like the one next to it. And that's the biggest travesty, is that in death, they get to be celebrated for their service. But in life, they're not allowed to live the freedoms that they fought for. What a shit show. Like, what a shit show. That we have the South Korean vet who is petitioning the New York governors for a pardon to come back. And then the gentleman that Lisa just talked about, 50 years? 50 years. And we're just kicking him out? That's where we're at? It's so gross.
It's part of that othering, right? It literally, that's what it is. It's part of that othering. They're not American citizens, so we can call them others. We can say that they're not worthy of the benefits that they fought for and they earned for. Not earned for, but they fought for and earned, right? Is we can other them and kick them out and then say, hey, look, we're saving money because we don't have to pay them for their benefits anymore because they're not citizens.
And we're not paying for their health care either.
Right. It all goes back to that othering thing that you brought up, Katie. That's bottom line. I think that's really what it is. That's where we are at as a nation, and it sucks.
It sucks to have to watch our own, right? Like our own, right? Like within our own community, right? It's happened throughout history. You had the othering of the gays, you have the othering of the African Americans, you have the othering of the women. And we have fought for all of this progress in the military to be inclusive and not white dominating. And, we have people in power. And to see all of that progress undone of the veterans that we stand on their shoulders that fought for every inch, to watch that all walked back and then have other veterans is disgusting, especially when we are in a time of war, right? Like right now we are at 100 days, over 100 days, no authorization, for use of force. Like we have the AUMF, right, that is being used. We have no war powers resolution that is happening. And it's constitutionally illegal at this point. What is happening? And we have seen the escalation over the last week. You have seen Trump say that he was going to nuke Iran. You also see that he was going to take Karg again. And so we need to have a war powers resolution. But we did see the repeal, or the trying repeal, of two of the AUMFs. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Got it through the House. Now we just got to take it one step further, right? Like, but is he even going to listen? Because right now we're not at war. He doesn't need to. We have a ceasefire, even though we keep firing. So it's technically not continuing the clock according to him. But I mean, also, how many times have we won this war that's not a war already?
I mean, the commander in chief himself, right? The Dunson chief. Maybe I shouldn't have used commander in chief, but he said yesterday in a meaningless vote, the House voted for bad Republicans and all of the Democrats to limit my war powers, right in the middle of my final negotiations to end the war with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Who would do such an unpatriotic thing? They know where the negotiations stand. The Democrats are fueled by Trump derangement syndrome. They would rather have our country fail than give me another of many of many victories. The four Republicans, that's a whole other story. They're grandstanders. They should be ashamed of themselves. MAGA President DJT. So that tells you what's going to happen is if this resolution makes it to his desk, veto, gone. And they don't have the numbers to override the veto right now. So at the end of the day, like he's not wrong. It is a meaningless vote. But I've also seen both the House and the Senate pass versions of this bill almost every single month this year. And it's usually the House will do it, and then the Senate passes their version, and then it goes back to the House and they do their version. So like my question is, when is the insanity going to stop, and when are they going to pull their heads out of their asses and actually get the job fucking done?
I think that it is a meaningless vote, but it's not a meaningless vote because at least it's a vote that's on record for the voters for midterms.
That's
right?
valid.
Because a good percentage of the United States does not support the war on Iran. So at least we're getting people's votes on the record.
But is it performative?
It is performative, at least with some aspects.
Right? I know we're in election season, okay? And hear me out. I know we're in election season. People want to get fucking reelected. I get it. But there are other mechanisms that can be utilized to make this stop. And so if they were serious, one of the greatest mechanisms, money, is if you can get it past the House, pull the funding. We're not going to send troops anywhere without funding. The War Powers Resolution, in my opinion, yes, it's great. I would love to see it passed. But Carl said it. It's going to be vetoed. Unless there's teeth in it to actually make this stop. And what we are seeing in, I think John Moses said it the last time I was on, or somebody did, like, we have children at the helm of the greatest military in the world. Like, this is the most uncertain time in history for the entire world. It's not just this country. We have Pete Hegseth, who shouldn't lead a company, let alone the fighting force. You have people that are being solicited by Israel to continue this war. It has been said on Israeli TV by Benjamin Netanyahu that these deals would continue to fail until Israel was the winning party. And so, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, we have to figure out how to make the War Powers Resolution stick. And that's like really hardcore, like bird dogging your congressman of like, this cannot continue. We cannot have these people run the greatest military in the world. It is an existential threat to humanity. It is very serious.
You have Hegseth saying this week that we will negotiate with bombs, and we're really good at it. Like, we have turned into the world's biggest bullies under this administration, and we've got to stop it.
Did we turn into the world's biggest bullies, or did we just increase our bullying efforts?
I think we probably increased our bullying efforts, really. I mean, it's just way more prevalent now.
Well, we're not the good guys, right? And Tim's right. And I saw Dog Mom's comment is like, it is the cult, right? It is the cult of Trump that is not going to allow this to happen. And unfortunately, you can pull the funding. You have seen the funding removed from different sources throughout the last year, and then they just defund something else to fund their win. That the American public is like, we don't want to fund that. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just defund SNAP to make sure concentration camps run. It is absolute insanity. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday that was talking about the Karg Island. It's like, this week with the rhetoric of Karg Island, like, I know that we made like a gentleman's bet on when it was going to be invaded. I lost. I thought it would have been a long time ago. But I do think that it is more imminent, like with the rhetoric that is being said, especially in the last week of the administration, of that if a deal is not done soon, I think that the frustration among Trump of being the greatest deal maker and not being able to make a deal with Iran is going to let his narcissistic ego get the best of him, and he is going to launch a full-on assault.
I mean, he flat out said this week that he said the goal out, the quiet part out loud. He said the goal was to take their oil just like we're doing in Venezuela. Like, he talked about the billions of gallons that they're shipping to the United States to refine from Venezuela, like blatantly. And he, has said that the U.S. doesn't want to see troops on the ground, but, it would be a good thing because we would take their oil.
Yeah, but a little bit of fact checking there, right? Venezuela has historically shipped their oil to the United States because the only place in the region that is capable of refining their shit oil is the United States. We've got the refineries in Texas that can do it. So I mean, his boast there is kind of like, yeah, but we've kind of been doing that the whole time, bro. Like, you really didn't change anything.
But where's the money going now? Because they were talking about that money specifically going to a fund that the U.S. was going to control.
I forgot about that.
They did. That was when we first invaded, and he was like, "Oh, we're going to have this deal." And so, where is the money going? That now is the real question.
Into his pockets.
Of course.
I mean, what do you think the likelihood is that we invade here coming up very directly because of the lack of deal that is happening?
I don't want to make another bet. I really don't. I don't want to make a guess because, I mean, we've been talking about Cuba coming up too, right? Like, I think he wants to hit both. And I think in order for him to hit Cuba, he needs to have Iran done. So the likelihood of him taking Karg, probably high, just so that he can force the deal. So that he can move on and focus on and orient on Cuba down south.
As someone that lives in Florida, I am very worried about Cuba because we're not focusing enough on Cuba as a population that we are literally starving children. I mean, why are we not talking more about that?
Yeah. Katie, I just got a message that you're not recording anymore. If you hit refresh in your browser,
Is that why she's been frozen on this face? Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, that's an interesting face that Katie's just frozen on. That's cool.
I'm totally gonna screenshot that.
Well, of course. I mean, I feel like we've had a lot of good screenshots lately. And she's back. Hi, Katie. Yeah.
Oh God, what happened?
You were frozen for
stuck on
quite
a
a
face.
while on a very interesting face.
Oh no, not again. No, there's gonna be so many screenshots of me. But no, I do want to talk about the AUMF though, because if they can repeal those, there is one left. It's the 2008 AUMF. That is the one that they are using. It is one that they have utilized for every action. And so even if the two AUMFs are done away with, there is still the one. And one of our asks as veterans, as our group, is to repeal the AUMF fully and then possibly rewrite it. I do see the value in having an authorization, like a use of military force that's needed. But I do think that it has been overutilized by both parties, every president, and it needs to be kind of reined in.
Yeah, but see, I don't think that there is any justification whatsoever to have a standing AUMF at all. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? Like, there is no reason why the president can drag the country into a war without congressional approval. Period. Right? It's like, hey, I'm going to start this fight, and then Congress, you either get behind me, or I'm going to call you unpatriotic and say that you hate the troops. Right? Like that is a bullshit effort, because it's blackmail. It's literally blackmailing Congress to do whatever the president wants. So I think the AUMF should go, and I think that any type of operation that we do in the world should be a defensive op and not an offensive op. We shouldn't be going out and acting like we're the world's police when we're not, right? Like, if you punch us in the face, you better believe we're going to punch you right back, and we're going to knock you the fuck out. But we're not going to throw the first punch. You are.
Well, but that's Trump's whole thing, is that supposedly Iran's been throwing the first punch for 40 some odd years, so we're just responding finally. I mean, of course, that's him completely ignoring what the U.S. did in Iran prior to that, which led to all of, but yeah. And I did a quick check, and yes, it appears that Iran does have several mental health specialists that have been integrated into their diplomatic talks with the U.S. in an effort to tailor their messaging to evaluate Trump, basically.
I love that.
That is diabolically brilliant. It's kind of like the Sullivan race in Alaska. It's so smart, because if they fit in all these mental health professionals and then they do some form of evaluation and release it, the rest of the world's going to be like, oh shit. So I agree with that. I think it's fun. I think it's also a good caveat for us to turn into Fire for Effect, since Carl has the one video.
Yeah, let me.
Peace through strength or something, wasn't it?
Peace through strength. Absolutely. So it's funny, because it's advertised as a, hey, they're going to air this for the first time ever during the President Trump's birthday fight night, where he's going to watch grown men who are very athletically fit roll around on the floor all sweaty and nasty during Pride Month. But anyways, they're talking about this video that they want to put out.
No more distractions. No more electric tanks. No more gender confusion. No more climate change worship. We are laser focused on our mission of warfighting.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. It's called peace through strength.
You look into the eyes of these young Americans who are giving up the best years of their life in a uniform to serve their nation. They are incredible.
Through our power and might, we will lead the world to peace. Our friends will respect us, our enemies will fear us, and the whole world will admire the unrivaled greatness of the United States military. We will replenish the pride of our armed forces, end the recruitment crisis.
We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us.
God bless you. God bless our armed forces. God bless our men and women serving overseas. And God bless the United States of America.
Okay, yes, God bless our service members. And yes, props to our service members. But oh my God, that was the biggest piece of propaganda piece of shit I think I've ever seen. That was the, you will do what we say or we're going to force you to do what we say. I'm going to, yeah, Katie, go.
That is this administration's version of you're with us or you're against us.
Just like, I have a lot of thoughts. First, the beginning of that video was strange, right? It's like, we're not doing climate change, like, or electric tanks. Like,
It's none of the woke shit, right?
But I
like,
had never heard of electric tanks. Like, that wasn't a thing.
me neither.
Wasn't
Me neither.
it
That's
something-
like.
No, last year when Doge was still a thing and Elon Musk hadn't fallen out of friendship, wasn't there a whole thing where they were going to buy electric military vehicles from Elon Musk? And then there was a huge uproar about how it wasn't being bidded out, and then they kind of walked it back. Oh no, we didn't specifically mean Tesla. But so there was a thing, briefly. So this actually contradicts something that they were going to throw to their friend last year before he fell out of favor.
Or are you talking about the up-armored Tesla Cybertrucks?
Maybe that's what it was.
Yes. Can I just tell you how much I disdain Pete Hegseth's voice. Like, every time he talked in that video, I was like, he sounds like a child. Like, and it's just, it's the yeah, a lot of thoughts. I hate the propaganda of it, the aspects. I hate the beginning, but it's just the whole, like, we're gonna solve the recruitment crisis. How are you gonna solve the recruitment crisis when you're, like, deporting the brown people? You're not promoting the women, so you're literally just, like, going after white men. Like, how are you going to solve that? I watched that video and I hope to sweet baby Jesus and everything holy that they decide not to do that.
I was as speechless as you last night when I saw it. I was like, oh my God.
It is as speechless as the day I watched the Pat Sullivan video of Alaska politics. That I was like, just as speechless of like this, like my brain is not computing.
Yeah. No, I can't help but cringe anytime I hear either one of their voices.
Well, like, Trump's, I unfortunately have always hated, but like Pete Hegseth, it's just the dichotomy of their voices in the video. It's the words too, but it's the dichotomy of the voices, right? You have like this New Yorker who is an idiot, and then you have and then you have Pete Hegseth, who is like trying to sound like that alpha male persona, but he doesn't even have like a manly voice, right? Like when I think like manly voice, I think like James Earl Jones, right, or like Denzel Washington, right? I don't think Pete
He
Hegseth.
sounds like he's reading a fucking Dr. Seuss book.
Yes.
The alliterations, the rhyming, it's just like very measured, and I'm like, bro, like what are you doing here? Like this doesn't work for the military. It doesn't work for leadership, because all you're doing is sounding stupid. Because you can tell the only reason he's memorizing it is because of the alliteration. Sorry, Katie, I don't mean to but like the only reason is the alliteration. Otherwise, he would never have those speeches memorized. He's just that moronic.
Well,
and drunk.
He's not. Yes, I was gonna say right. It like yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck him.
Like, ugh.
So I've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, I said I've got 3 funny pictures. The first one is kind of a funny because, Katie, remember way back when we saw that
Oh my God! You have got to be kidding.
So it's not really there. This is a Photoshop, but what's really there is a monster logo, right? Which still kind of links into that Brondo. It's what plants crave.
This is what, like, oh my God. Oh my God. We're in idiocracy.
1,000%.
Is nobody else just embarrassed to have this UFC, like, arena, like, on the fucking White House lawn?
Oh,
like,
you hear what they're calling it now? It's the Claw.
The Claw?
What did you just say to me?
It's called the Claw. That's what they have over the UFC fight.
Oh.
It was made in Poland, shipped to Philadelphia, and then trucked down to DC.
If I wasn't the host of this pod, I would leave. Like I would walk out. Like they named it the Claw. Like, what is that from? That's
Toy
from a
Story.
Jim Carrey movie. What's from a Jim Carrey movie too? The Claw.
Yeah, the whole liar, whatever.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But I know it from like Toy Story, the little aliens, the Claw.
The Claw.
Oh, yeah. Whoever photoshopped this on here, you win. Okay? You just win the internet. You win at life. I hope you win the lotto at some point in your life, kind human, because you have won. This is the epitome of what is happening in America. Idiocracy.
So this next one, it is a comment. It comes from the OIF veterans page that I'm in.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's a little long.
Oh,
I'm gonna read it
no.
as fast as I can, but just know that I've got a funny picture to follow it up to kind of like even things out a little bit.
Is it this dumb bitch?
This is from a
it's
person
not.
named Michael Mascari, who says, I 100% disagree, and since you wrote a 700-page dissertation, so will I. Women veterans are not being erased. In fact, the irony is that this entire post is proof that they're not. You wrote thousands of words about women veterans, their struggles, their accomplishments, their history, and their ongoing challenges. People are sharing it, discussing it, debating it, and responding to it. That's not erasure, that's visibility. Are there issues facing women veterans? Absolutely. Military sexual trauma is real. Inadequate healthcare is real. Bureaucratic failures are real. The struggles many women face during and after service are real. But people don't vote like I do is not evidence of erasure. Neither is a canceled event. Neither is the fact that some women veterans choose to prioritize different issues than you do. And frankly, I never understood the idea that women veterans need a separate day to validate their service in the first place. Veterans Day already exists. The title veterans is one that was earned through service, sacrifice, and commitment. It doesn't require an asterisk, a qualifier, or a separate category. The uniform doesn't care whether the person wearing it is male or female. The oath is the same, the sacrifice is the same, the title is the same. To me, the ultimate sign of equality isn't creating more categories that separate veterans by sex, it's recognizing that a veteran is a veteran. Women who serve don't need to be placed in a separate lane to be recognized. Their accomplishments stand on their own. Their service stands on its own. Their legacy stands on its own. The moment someone claims that every woman who disagrees politically is supporting her own oppression, the conversation stops being about veterans and starts being about ideology. Female veterans aren't weak. They don't need strangers deciding they're incapable of thinking for themselves or making their own political choices. Women veterans have served in every conflict, commanded troops, flown combat missions, survived deployments, raised families, built careers, and overcome obstacles most civilians will never understand. To then suggest that they're victims because they don't vote the correct way is more insulting than anything you're supposedly fighting against. And let's be honest, if women veterans were truly being erased, there would be an entire day dedicated to there wouldn't be an entire day dedicated to recognizing them. There wouldn't be veteran organizations, scholarships, advocacy groups, healthcare programs, books, documentaries, and public ceremonies highlighting their contributions. You can argue that there should be more recognition. That's a fair discussion. But claiming women veterans are being erased while simultaneously demanding a separate day, separate recognition, and separate treatment from other veterans feels contradictory. Women veterans earned the title veteran. That's the only title they should ever need.
So, Michael. Mr.
So I invited
Women's...
Michael, before you guys go in, I invited Michael to come and watch the show. Michael, if you are here watching, please drop it in the comments. Let us know so that we can make sure that you are here and listening. Otherwise, I'll make sure that you get this message. All right, ladies, I'll back away.
Katie, do you want to go first?
You go ahead.
Let me tell you, Michael, when we talk about how women's accomplishments are being erased, and you list off all of these things that private orgs and 501cs and nonprofits do to recognize women and what they have done for the services, but completely ignore the fact that last year, when Trump decided to push out an EO removing all DEIA, that included them then stripping articles and pictures of women and their historical contributions to the military from their websites. I am one of those people who was 404'd. I had articles and pictures that were removed for no other reason than the fact that, I guess because I was a woman and I was featured in them. So don't sit here and say that we're not being erased. Also, you don't seem to understand the actual significance of the day. It's not a Women's Veterans Day. It is actually the anniversary of the signing of the Integration Act, which finally recognized the fact that women have served in every conflict, because before we weren't recognized for it. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll pick up from there. So when the Integration Act was actually signed, there were some caveats to that bill. Women could only make up 2% of the force. Women could not be promoted above 05. If a woman had a spouse that was not a service member, the woman had to prove that the spouse was incapable of working. So therefore, women have always had to fight for their place. And I made that post after thinking on it, and Lisa knows why I made the post. There's a woman here locally that I know is a friend of mine. I've spent a very long time getting to know, who tagged me in a Women Veterans Day post. And it's not Women Veterans Day, it's Women Veterans Recognition Day, right? And so the importance of that post wasn't a, hey, you need to vote a certain way. It is a woman calling out other women. So Michael, thank you for having an opinion and mansplaining my own fucking post to me. That's the exact fucking problem with the owners of penises in the military, because you think that you can overtalk me and explain what I was writing. But guess what, Michael? It wasn't to you, you dumb motherfucker. It was to women veterans. And it was to the women in the comment section of that fucking exact post in the exact group. It was to the women that were saying, I have a $140,000 job and an $80,000 truck. Me too, you dumb cunt, but I spend 8 hours a day after my job actually giving a fuck about my sisters in uniform. And it's not that I want a special category. I want equality. You know what equality fucking looks like? The promotions that were supposed to happen that didn't. You know what equality looks like? The 2 women that were fired as soon as Pete Hegseth took office. That's equality. Equality looks like that women get to stay in combat roles because we proved our efficacy through female engagement teams, through every fucking combat role that we have held. We have proved our efficacy. We have infantry commanders that are female now. We have rangers that are female. But you have a misogynist who is running the department who wants 0 women in any command roles. So unfortunately, Michael, I was not speaking to you because I actually fight for your rights too. Love you too, my brother. What I'm actually speaking to is to the women. How fucking dare you? The audacity and the balls that you have to say happy Women's Veterans Recognition Day while you dumb cunts do everything in your power to make sure that we lose every inch we have gained since 1946. That is who I was speaking to. I was speaking to my personal fucking friends on my personal page that only speak up once a year, but then magically are offended when we start to lose shit. That is who I was speaking to. I was speaking to the women and service women who serve, who know the fight. I was speaking to Diana Danis, my mentor, to let her know that every inch she fought for over the last generations, I was going to get back, and I was going to get miles ahead, because men like you, Michael, are an obstacle. But guess what, baby? The GWAT era, we are not our fucking mothers. We fight back. And I will guarantee you that when you start to lose benefits, I'll fight for you too. Even though you don't see the value of women trying to be recognized. And that's the fucked up part, is that Carl showed me a lot of the comments from the men in that group. From the men. And I have always been a true advocate for men policing their own. And Carl was doing the Lord's work in that motherfucker, trying to police you dumb motherfuckers. But you're not listening. I, as a female veteran, I, as your sister in arms, and am telling you, we need your help. We need your help. And yes, the wreath laying ceremony is an example of erasure. Because why? 3 branches would not show up because of the DEI policy. That is erasure. Lisa getting her shit erased. Erasure. That is erasure of women veterans. And if you can't see it, it's because you choose not to, because you, fortunately for you, penis owner, you will not be affected. Because if we become misandrists tomorrow, women would never fucking treat you the goddamn same, because we see you as equals. You have never seen us as the same. Even though we stood in formation with you, we bandaged you just the same, and we led you. You never saw us the same. And your dissertation, although good for you for writing it, I honestly don't give a flying fuck about your opinion, because your benefits are not being cut. You're not going to be erased ever, because you're a man. And that's how the system was set up. So when women are out here doing work for each other and you're trying to overtalk women doing work for other women, that's the problem. You don't get an opinion on women. Women get opinion on women. And that's who I was speaking to, was other women. You don't get to one day a year be a proud woman veteran and then get to fuck the rest of us for the other 364 days. And then I see you post, oh my God, I can't believe that we're losing shit. You dumb bitch, you're why? Because you are voting for the people that are doing this to us. That's who I was speaking to, Michael, not you. You can continue to vote against my best interest because you have. That's why we're losing it. You're going to lose it too. So women are going to continue to organize, not only for us, but for the men. I appreciate your comment. I hope you do come on and talk to us and actually listen to women, right? Not overtalk us, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yep, that will get submitted to that individual. I'll make sure they see it. All right, so let's get some comedy going. So you all remember the pond, right? The reflecting pool that Donald Trump was all about, painting blue and everything. Well, it turns out the dark color attracts sunlight and creates heat. And when you have a heated, untreated pool of water, it creates algae blooms. And so
100%.
This is now what the reflecting pool looks like.
Oh shit. Oh. Why haven't I seen these pictures plastered all over the whitehouse.gov site? I don't understand.
So they've actively had people out there, crews out there cleaning it every single day, and they have yet to be able to clean it completely. Doug Burgum has said they're going to put micro bubblers in the pool in order to try to prevent the growth of algae. But we all know what happens when you put micro bubblers in the pool. It creates a rough surface, which means no more reflecting.
Reflecting. Yeah. So how many millions did we,
I think we were up to like 10 million by the time it was all done.
No, I think it was 13.1.
Was it 13.1?
But now we're going to get some micro bubblers, and so that's going to add on, and then they're going to realize that it's not reflecting anymore, and then that's going to be an embarrassment. So then we're going to have to give a new job to Trump's pool people, right? Is that where we're at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God.
Why am I not? Okay, so I didn't think of this. I'm a little bit shocked that I didn't think of this being in construction, because as soon as you said it, I was like, oh my God. I don't think that's fixable without ruining the reflection. And I don't know if it was a joke or an AI or whatever, but there was the one image that came out, like, I don't know if it was on the White House, I could be wrong, but it had like a fountain in the middle of the reflecting. And yeah, that's the only way you're going to be able to do that, is aerate it.
Yeah. They're also claiming that it's because of the pipes, and having the pipes sitting for so long, the algae grew inside the pipes and then it released, and this is what they're dealing with now.
That's not how that works.
Well, I mean,
Joe
Biden.
It's Obama's fault somehow. Obama and Biden, it's their fault somehow. They're sneaking in and probably putting the algae in every night. I mean, I just gave them an idea.
That's a brilliant idea.
Right?
No. Nope, we're
Let's
not
feed the algae every night.
Katie's like, nope, no, we're not. All right, so
we're not doing it, guys.
The next and last serious one, and Katie, it's another one on your post.
Is it the dumb bitch?
No, actually, I'll read it to you. Cool story. Why is the McDonald's lady yelling at me? Just put fries in the bag and I'll take a beverage carrier. Thanks.
McDonald's lady.
Is that in response to one of us?
It's in response to
Me.
Katie's post.
Oh,
McDonald's lady.
Why?
You
why?
have a lava lamp as your profile picture. You have a lava lamp as your profile picture. And you want to call me a McDonald's lady lava lamp? Like, what? And your name is Jose Bert Elire. Like, sir, are you safe? Like, are you safe? They're not capturing lava lamps, but it might be next on their list, because when they come for the lava lamps, you're going to be next. It's weird that there's comments like this, because, and I've said it in here, and I think I said it to a woman on Service Women You Serve, and it wasn't even about me, it was about Cato Weber. I was like, you can Google, just Google, right? Google Cato Weber, Google Lisa Walrab, Google my name, Google Diana Danis, Google people's names, and you can see that they're actually doing work in the community. And one of the reasons that I take the time to sit and write is because my parents paid for parochial school. And it is one of the very good things I'm good at is writing. I'm very bad at talking a lot of the time because of my TBI. But if I sit and I think and I write, it gets my thoughts out clearly. And so I think it's funny with the comment from the one woman and then from this guy, not knowing of who I am, right? Is I'm not just a normal everyday veteran screaming at the screen. I have a professional career outside of this that I do very well at, and I like building things. But I think it's one of those things that when people don't agree with you, that it's automatically demeaning. Right, is yeah, I called that lady a bitch, and I do think that of her, is because as a woman, she didn't read the post, and then she automatically demeaned me. That woman right there, the $150,000 a year, owning a $450,000. Me too, bitch. Me too. Come to my house. Come. You can come see my house. We can compare houses. We can compare vehicles. Because guess what? I own 2 houses. You can come see my other house while I'm at it. Because there are people with privilege that are fighting for people without. Because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what makes you a kind, loving, decent human being. Is that you use your privilege to fight for those without. You don't get privilege and then you say, fuck you, I got mine. And that's exactly the problem within this community, whatever Facebook group this is these people don't recognize the privilege that they have as veterans. And when they lose it, they're going to cry about it. And people that are sitting here watching this and sitting here talking on this panel right now are going to be able to say, too late. It's too late. We asked you. We begged you. And one of the begging things we did, we begged. Oh yeah, they did call Tim a cuck. I would have much rather been called a cuck, right? Is this woman, right? This woman, Steph Merica, which isn't even her name. I put in my real name on this pod, on everything I write. I use my actual legal name because I'm not going to hide behind a screen. I will stand by my words always. I fought for you, and I will continue to fight for you. And there are women that will continue to fight for you, because although you don't know your own best interests, and you might not benefit from all of the benefits that we fight for, the next generation will. And women like Diana Danis, women like Dee Quaranta, women like all of the women that fought for everything I have, me and Lisa and Carl and Tim and Rory and Hannah and Dog Mom and all of these people around the country that are watching this, that are out here in the streets fighting for it, we're going to make sure it's not taken, and we're going to make sure it's better for the next generation of women. And that's how it should be done. You shouldn't get the $150,000 a year. You shouldn't get the $450,000 house. You shouldn't get the $80,000 and they say, fuck you. You should help the next generation of women get that and get it better, because that's what the generation did before us. Without the Vietnam women, we wouldn't have women's clinics. We wouldn't have PTSD clinics. We wouldn't be even able to serve while pregnant without the Vietnam women. And so when you sit here and you get to reap the benefits of those women while saying fuck you to the next generation, it makes you a piece of shit. That's what it makes you. It doesn't make you a sister in arms. It makes you a fucking traitor to the next generation. And for you to sit here and stand with the patriarchy and with the structure that put us down, that makes you a cunt. That makes you a cunt, lady. Is that you're going to sit here and stand up for the men? You're going to sit here and stand up for the men that like raped us and that sexually assaulted all of your sisters in arms, and you're going to be like, oh, good for them. Yeah, lady, you're an awful human being. Like, I can't with women like this. I just can't. Because they reap the benefits of what was fought for while turning around, spitting in the face of the next generation. It took, what, over 60 years to get women where they are today? Over 60 years. And you are going to sit here and say, I have mine, so, you know, I'll just hang out with the boys. I'll just hang out with the boys. The boys are what's taking it from you. The boys are the reason that you weren't ever a part of the club. And you can sit in that toxic male bullshit of a fucking Facebook group, but guess what, honey? You ain't one of them. You're not ever going to be one of them, and they don't see you as an equal. So you can talk shit to women all you want, but guess what? You're not one of the boys. Because even though I thought I was one of the boys, I'm not equal to the boys. And I'm more of a man than you are. Guarantee you that. So good luck. Dumb women. It makes me so irritated, Lisa. Dumb women.
Tell me how you really feel, Katie.
It's like, you know, the women that always like vote against their own best interests and then are like, oh my God, why can't I get a credit card? Yeah, her.
Why is the tiger eating my face?
They're my favorite. They're my favorite human beings on the planet right now in this entire country is the tiger eat my face people. It's like, yeah. I didn't know that my brown child would get picked up by ICE. I watched like, no bullshit, I watched this MAGA couple, like older couple, that their like son-in-law got like picked up by ICE, and they were like, I mean, we didn't know he was undocumented, but you know, it's just the law.
Yeah. I have
what?
I have relatives in Texas who are very MAGA, and who the specific one ran for office and did not win, and now all of a sudden is posting about how, where are all these data centers coming from, and not 1 acre in Texas should have a data center, and where are all these flock cameras coming from, and I don't understand. And I'm like, wow. You just woke up to that, huh? Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is it's going to take these people getting affected. I mean, Katie, I think you told me that way back when we first met, is that it's going to take us losing, like, it's going to take these people losing their rights and losing their benefits for them to realize, oh shit, I was wrong the entire time. Until then, as long as it doesn't affect them, as long as it doesn't impact them, they don't care. They have zero cares whatsoever when it comes to this stuff, because who cares? I got mine. Fight for yours.
That's the shitty part, though, is that there is that stigma within, like, outside of our community about our community. And I've talked about that, is like within the advocacy activist space that's not veterans, is they have that purview of us, is that it's the fuck you, I got mine, and we don't care about the general public because we have healthcare, we have, you know, we have our housing benefit, like we have all of these things that the general public does not. And so it's like and then you have people like this that perpetrate that. But the dichotomy of that, the opposite of that, is people like Dog Mom, Rory, Tim, Hannah, the three of us that are out here fighting for the general public, and not only fighting for the general public, fighting the perception of the general public that all veterans are a monolith, that we're all Trump supporters, that we're all out here chugging the Kool-Aid. And I'm like, if I was chugging the Kool-Aid, do you think I would be at the No Kings protest with you, leading it? And they're like, oh, wait, well, not you. Yeah, but there's veterans all over the country that are speaking out. And when you keep perpetrating that of like, oh, well, all veterans are the same. We're not. We're not. And even in our group, right? Even in our group, like, we are a very diverse group of human beings, of ideologies. And, you know, it comes back to that guy saying like, oh, I'm just preaching ideology. What about that was ideological? It's policy based. We're fighting for reproductive health care. We're fighting for MST. We're fighting for deported veterans. Those are policy initiatives. They are not woke culture. They are policy initiatives of help, like stuff that we need. It's, yeah, I don't know.
So last funny one, and this was submitted by Tim Boyven. We all know and love Tim, and it is just an example of, I think it's God telling us how much or how little he thinks of the Trump administration, because he sent 2 rainbows to celebrate the fact that the Trump name was coming off of the Kennedy Center.
It's a double rainbow.
Yep.
Oh.
That's letting us know that everything is going to be okay. It's like,
everything's gonna be all right. Don't worry.
I will never do this again to you.
or it's more like the more you know, rainbow, the more
Oh,
you know.
yes. Is it the reading rainbow?
Yes. Oh God, that's amazing. I think that brings me so much joy because of the, like, it being Pride Month. You know, I think that's great. Thanks, Tim. I needed this. This makes me
That was a good one to throw out there. We needed that.
On that, did you see it?
God.
They actually covered up the process so that the public couldn't watch them take the letters off the wall.
Oh yeah. They had
Yeah,
the
they
scaffolding
put
up.
the scaffold up, and then they put like a curtain over the top of it.
Why?
Because they knew it was going to be celebrated.
But people should have literally brought like the bells of shame and like just dressed up and shame. We should organize something like that. That would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. We should do something like that. No.
That would be fun. All right, let's, I don't think we have a field report. I was going to pop my head out and ask my mom to give us a field report on the documentary she was watching, but she probably doesn't want to do it. She was finding out where, Pat Simmons, what was his name?
Gene Simmons. Richard Simmons?
Gene Simmons. Richard Simmons. She
Richard
was finding
Simmons.
out where Richard Simmons disappeared to. She was in watching that. But no, we will move into calls to action. What's next? So what's next for 5051 vets? the biggest thing we have going on right now is our call to action for July 4th. So that is a Veterans Against Fascism movement, and it is in Philadelphia on July 4th. So, Freedom Over Fascism is the name of the march. It is on Saturday, July 4th. Time and exact location is to be announced. However, there is an interest meeting this Tuesday. An interest meeting is just, hey, I might want to go, I'm not sure. That's what this is. It's not a commitment, it's just to find out more information. And so if you are interested in knowing what we're doing in Philly, maybe coming this Tuesday is the next interest meeting. This will be the last interest meeting, right? So after this Tuesday, we are going to be moving into just registering. So you're not going to be able to hear about it. You're just going to have to commit. And for people that need solidarity housing, can't get there financially, things of that nature, sign up, right? Like, just sign up. If there's a will, there's a way, and we will figure it out. So this is our biggest call to action right now, and so I do want you to promote it. If you see it from any of the 7 organizations that's involved with this, promote the shit, share it, and get to Philly on July 4th. Last thing is our safety brief. And so, I like that you put Pete in the corner. Did you
He's
change
been up
that?
there the whole time.
He has.
Has he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been flicking us off for a while now.
No. I've always seen him in, like, the bottom right, but I didn't know he was up there. That's cool. Anywho. For those watching, we do a safety brief at the end of every show to remind our veteran buddies to not be degenerates, and the general public. They could probably use some of this as well. We're going to start off the same way for Lisa. Do all of your checks. For women, do your checks. For men, do your checks and go get checked out by the doctor. Make all of your appointments for those checks. And advocate for yourself if the VA is not doing their best, okay? So do not beat your spouse, child, or pet. It's highly frowned upon. Eat an actual meal. Gas station snacks, nicotine and caffeine are not nutrition. Drink water like you mean it. Half of your bad mood is dehydration. And it's hot as fuck. Like, it was 101 today in Tallahassee. Drink water, okay? Get some sleep. Nothing good happens after 0-200 except for Waffle Houses and regrets. Take all of your meds. Make all of your appointments, even the ones that you don't want to go to. Okay? If your mind is getting dark, isolation is what kills us. So the 3 of us don't sleep well. And so please message the page. Don't isolate. Reach out to us. One of us will chat with you. And get you through it, right? And get you to some of the resources that are out there. We're tired of burying our brothers and sisters in arms, and we need to take better care of each other. In the same sentiment, don't drink and drive. I'm not advocating for sobriety. What I am advocating for is you not be an asshole and kill somebody else when you could have taken an Uber. If you can't afford the Uber, message the page. I will personally pay for it myself. I will send you an Uber to get you home. Okay? It's more important. Other things, if something feels wrong, get it looked at. Walking it off no longer works. We're all old. And stretch in the mornings, because we can move wrong in bed at this point and then not move for a week. So stretch every day. Put your dog on a leash. Your friendly baby may be friendly to you, but not others. Happened to one of our board members. Don't be that guy. Do not fight wildlife, especially geese. They have tenure, and if it hisses, charges, or has antlers, only white women can tame it. If you're not white and you're not a woman, probably not the best of ideas. Scooters are transportation, not cavalry mounts. If there's a group of veterans, you should probably not travel by scooter, because you will have a lot of fun on the scooter and forget that there is traffic. So I feel like that's a better caveat, Carl, because we were having fun.
We were.
While you're while you're in DC, do participate in the barter system. We got to see it firsthand. 1 bag of coffee grounds will be traded for 1 watermelon plant and 1 marijuana plant. Barter. If you then find the plants later on the sidewalk and you claim it as your own, it's raccoon behavior, and we approve. Also, emotional support potatoes are authorized in this group. You are to carry them with pride. Thank you, Lindsay Knapp, for mine. Do not build a golden calf. It got added because it happened. Also, do not buy animals on the black market to make policy points. That's my own. I will own that. Do not decide that you are Bob the Builder in your retirement. It takes years of skill to work in the sun.
Sledgehammer, just take it out.
Okay. Did you? I'm gonna ask questions.
No, I think we need to ask questions.
I was like, that's not the advice I gave you.
No, I followed your advice.
All right, finally, make good decisions. If unable to make good ones, make survivable ones. If neither is possible, make legendary ones. And if you make legendary ones, make them with plausible deniability, but also take video so that we can promote your poor decisions in life. Our oath is to the Constitution and to the people of this country. So a lot of us watching and a lot of veterans around the country are out doing very good work in the streets. What we're asking is that you take that oath seriously. And what that means to us is that you look to the left and the right and you protect the most vulnerable. That includes with your body, if at all costs, right? We are the bulwark against a tyrannical government in this country. We are the ones with the expertise, and we need to be the ones to protect the vulnerable in the streets. So please do that. Please always check in with somebody and check out with somebody when you are going to actions, because there are people getting picked up by ICE and DHS and CBP, and then people are they're being released, but their family does not know where they are. So if you are going out, check in and out with somebody. That's all I'm asking. Keep each other safe, and we will see you this Wednesday for our next episode. Have a good night.